Welcome to this week's episode of AFL Cairns TV. On this week's episode of AFL Cairns TV, we'll catch up with Cairns Post reporter Mari Wenzel to speak about all things AFL Cairns footy. We'll look back at the senior highlights from round 13 as well as the reserve grade results. We'll have a look at all the AFL Cairns Women's League action from round 9 and the upcoming round 10 fixtures. And we'll also see who's lining up on each other come round 14 of AFL Cairns football action. This week's special guest on AFL Cairns TV is the Cairns Post resident AFL reporter Mari Wenzel. Thanks for coming in, Murray.
No worries, mate.
To kick us off, who's your favourite personality that you've come across within AFL Cairns?
Yeah, there's probably a few that spring to mind, but having, sitting there watching every weekend, you probably spend more time with the fans, and one guy that's probably stuck out for me is Keith Turner at Saints. He's always there on the books, whether it's marking the goals or just having his say, and it's always good fun to listen to what he's got to say.
And speaking of favourites, who's been your best player that you've seen here in Cairns?
I've been here 5 years, so when I got here, James Coatsworth was the man behind Saints, and he's probably the standout in terms of leading by example and being really tough and obviously effective, winning premierships and medals. Yeah. Since then, lots of talented players. Probably Daniel Lewis out at Lions was a real freak and a bit of a live wire with the dreadlocks and he'd take a screamer every second week.
I think 2 years ago he would have been in 6 of the top 10 mark of the year, so definitely an exciting player for the Lions.
And more recently there's been some amazing goal kicking hauls from a few guys, and this year probably Charlie Haley, to be honest, has been another Lions guy that's good to watch go about his business. And
a definite live wire, and was best on ground in the All-Stars representative clash here at Kazali's. You said you've been here for a few years now, so you would have watched 4 and you're coming up to your 5th grand final. Yeah. What's been the best grand final you've seen here in Cairns?
Yeah, they all throw up a bit of a surprise. I think they never really go according to script, and that's good because you got your regular season favourites come in and they've still got to earn it, and there was no greater example of that than a few years ago when Saints played Norths.
Yeah, 2013.
Yeah, Norths it was probably theirs to win. They had a really good year, but Saints, being Saints, they found another gear, and I think they had an empty bench in the 4th quarter with 3 or 4 in hospital with injuries, and there'd been an ambulance in the field a few times, and it was just an absolute saga of a game, and they hung on to win. And talking to them now, I'll tell you that in all their premierships they won, that was certainly the most special.
Without doubt, September specialist. Looking at September, who is your prediction for the 2015 grand final sides, and then who goes on to win it?
I think looking at the ladder now, the top 2 is Port Saints, and I think it'd be pretty silly to bet against them at the moment, just given how good they are in September. Port 3 wins clear, defending champions, probably in a better spot than they were last year. I'd argue that they've probably got a better team than they did last year, with Kai Chappell at the front.
Yep.
As a massive target, probably complements what they had last season. So I'd say Port Saints final and Port to win as it stands at the moment, but like I said, who knows?
So speaking of Port Douglas, my next question was who's the grumpiest coach this year? And I'm going to say, being 3 games clear, it's not going to be Brad Cooper. He's going to be very impressed with what his side's been able to achieve thus far heading into round 14.
You've led into that one nicely, but everyone knows Brady, he's great because he doesn't give you anything. So as a journo, that's always good fun to try and see what's going on in his mind, but that's the way he plays it, and it's a great personality as a coach, and he's obviously been very effective. And to be honest, they're all pretty good this year. Even after a loss, they're all always happy to talk and be honest and give you a thorough appraisal of what happened out there. So I'm pretty lucky this year.
So when you do call a coach that has lost following a rounds match, how do you break the ice with them? I wouldn't imagine calling a losing coach is any fun, and there's no nice way to say what you need to get out of them. So how do you go about doing that?
I'm always surprised they answer the phone, to be honest. They're always you'd think they'd be pretty reluctant to talk about it, but like I said, they've been great, and I just try and keep it pretty lighthearted and ease into it, I guess, talk about a few other things first. A bit of small talk never goes astray, but like I said, they're great. And I guess being in regular contact with them, that they know how it is, and and hopefully they're all pretty positive, so they're trying to look at what they can do better rather than...
Stories need to be written, don't they?
Yeah, exactly. They've been great this year.
Speaking of influential people and players in our competition, who's your tip to win the Craven medal this year?
Yeah, I don't know. There's a bit of talk up in Port that Tommy Koff's having a season.
Standout, yep, definitely.
He's been good, and he's always been a good player, but whether or not he's attracting a bit more interest this year, we'll see. But he could also be getting votes stolen off him by his teammates, which is always a threat in one of those 3-2-1 systems.
Oh, definitely. You only have to look at round 13's game against Saints. He was a standout, but it's hard to look past a full forward that kicks 9 goals and that was dominant in Kai Chappell. Yeah. So you would think, being 3 games clear, they're going to have a lot of people that stand out, and particularly some of their young kids in Jack and Angus Dixon. Yeah. They've been very influential as well.
I guess you got Zach Ewart, South again, who's always going to be, he gets heaps of touches and a bit of a leader there, and they're doing well. Over at Saints, there's a couple of guys there that have had good years. Charlie again at Lions, probably pulling boats in a losing side. So I don't really know at the moment. It could be interesting to see whether it goes to one of those goal kickers or one of the guys sort of flying under the radar at the back maybe.
Definitely, and this year our competition's been probably the closest it has been for several years. What's your thoughts on the overall dynamic of the comp in 2015?
Well, having 6 teams is not ideal because there's one less side isn't what you want, but I think it's meant the teams haven't really got respite with that bye or one other weaker side, so they're sort of at it every weekend, and every game seems to mean a bit more significant, and you found there's a few more upsets and a few more unpredictable results. Like looking at Centrals, they've managed to beat every team and lose every team this year, which is pretty crazy to think about. That it wouldn't have happened for a long time, so that probably sums up where it's at. And you never really know what's going to happen.
And when we preview each round, we look at the ledger between both sides, and quite often you look at Port Central, Central South, Cairns Saints. They've all had wins and losses, so they're heading into the last part of the season. It's quite often one apiece, so it's definitely even this year. The Cairns Post and AFL Cairns last year introduced the inaugural Team of the Year. It was a great success. Just like our NQ side, there's going to be a lot of people that come out of that side. Key people, Kane Richter, Adam Mueller, Adam Boone. Yep. So do you enjoy picking the best side? And I'm sure it causes a lot of controversy, and you get a lot of people stop you in the street and say, why wasn't he in, or why was that player in?
Yeah, I think we had a bit of fun with it last year. I was trying to pick not only the best players, but the entertaining ones, I guess, the ones that the people want to come and watch. So that sort of gives it a point of difference from the rep team itself. Like you said, it's going to be a much different looking side though, with the amount of leaders that aren't here that have gone and played elsewhere this season. It means there's going to be heaps of gaps to be filled, but the way that rep side played shows it's going to be another tough one. I'd imagine there'll be some more tough calls, and I'll probably keep getting ribbed by the players that miss out or make it like I have this year.
No, definitely. It's an exciting part of the conclusion of the season to see who you think, along with some of the other selectors, are in the best 22 plus. Those players that have been engaging throughout the year. Finally, there's been a lot of discussion at the elite level of the AFL of where it's heading. Should there be changes to rules or interpretations? If you could change one rule or interpretation, what would it be?
Probably the sub rule is the one that keeps popping up as the one that everyone's angry with. Every weekend there's a drama about it. Seems to me it probably doesn't need to be there. Why bother? It's, like you said, it's for years and years it hasn't been necessary, and suddenly it's become such a big part of the game. I think they just chuck them on the bench and let the boys slog it out. 100%
agree. The sub hasn't been there for 100 years, and no one likes to see Adam Goods or Boomer Harvey at the elite level running around in the green vest. So thanks for your time today. We look forward to seeing plenty more stories as we approach finals and then at the conclusion of the season. So on behalf of AFL Cairns TV, thanks for your time, and we'll catch up with you shortly.
Cheers, Sean.
Thanks. South Cairns' dominance over North Cairns continued in 2015. The Cutters maintained their 100-plus winning average over the Tigers. This time it was by 103 points at Fretwell Park in round 13. This win now sees the Cutters have 8 victories for the season and moves them into equal second spot next to the Cairns Saints Footy Club.
Go inside!
Cutters centre half forward James Dixon was again impressive, kicking 8 majors for the day. The Cutters had 32 scoring shots to the Tigers 9 in a complete team performance. A blistering 8-0 first term set up the win for the home side. Port Douglas recorded their 7th consecutive victory, this time defeating Cairns Saints by 32 points at Griffiths Park. With everyone on Walshy watch, it was the Crocs full forward Kai Chappell who stole the show, booting 9 majors for the match. It's no wonder why the Crocs sit 3 games clear with outstanding delivery to their key forwards like this. This goal here by Chappell proves his versatility around the ground and definitely puts him as a contender for goal of the year. Down by 2 points at 3/4 time, it was a 7-1 final term that closed out the match in favour of the visiting Crocs. Chappell's great day out at the office sees him sitting on 79 goals for season 2015, which is 13 clear of Cairns Saints' Matthew Walsh. Central's Trinity Beach recorded a 14-point victory over Cairns City Lions at Cratham Park in round 13. This was the Dogs' first win in 5 rounds and locked them in 4th spot, 3 games clear of Cairns City Lions. With several players to come in for the Central's outfit, their run home to finals is going to be one to watch and will shake up the competition. The loss for the Lions has all but ended their chances of playing finals in September in 2015. Round 13 of the reserves saw the following results. South Cairns were too good, thumping North Cairns by 78 points at Fretwell Park. Central's Trinity Beach defeated Cairns City Lions by 88 points. It could have been more if the Dogs had a kick straighter, recording 12-24 for the match. Port Douglas were too classy, knocking off Cairns Saints by 78 points on the road at Griffiths Park. Round 9 of AFL Cairns Women's League saw the following results. Menunda Hawks winning ways continued with a 34-point victory over a determined South Cairns outfit. With several representative players and officials omitted from the North Cairns outfit in round 9, they struggled for numbers and eventually forfeited to Pyramid Power. This was Pyramid Power's first premiership points since round 2 when they defeated Central's Trinity Beach by 27 points. Both of round 10's AFL Cairns Women's League matches will be played as curtain raisers to reserve grade on Saturday. The first will see North Cairns take on South Cairns at Watson's Oval. This match will be 2nd versus 3rd. Back in round 5, the Tigers were successful in victory by 91 points. In the other match, Central's Trinity Beach, who will be extremely refreshed after the 2-week general bye plus their club bye, will take on a super impressive Menunda Hawks outfit at Cratham Park. In round 5, Menunda Hawks comfortably defeated the Bulldogs by 93 points. The first of round 14's matches will see Central's Trinity Beach taking on South Cairns at Cratham Park. Both clubs returned to the winner's circle in round 13 after losses over the past fortnight. Centrals are in 4th place with 7 wins, while South Cairns are in 3rd with 8 victories in 2015. Centrals recorded a 14-point victory over the Lions last weekend. This was the Dogs' first win since round 9. For South Cairns, they easily accounted for North Cairns by 103 points at Fretwell Park. Both teams are destined for finals come September, and this match is important to both sides. Recent results have seen the ledger sit at 1 apiece. Round 4, Souths recorded a 68-point victory over Centrals, while in Round 9 it was Centrals by 11 points at Fretwell Park. Season stats show South Cairns are far more attacking with an average score of 104 points, while Centrals only managed to kick a score of 92. South Cairns' two main avenues to goal in Paul Smith and James Dixon will be a strong focus point for the Dogs out at Crathern Park on Saturday. North Cairns will host Cairns Saints at Watson's Oval, with the match kicking off 60 minutes earlier at 2 p.m. These sides are at either end of the table, with Cairns Saints currently in second spot and North Cairns locked on the bottom of the ladder with only one win in 2015. North Cairns in round 13 were thumped by South Cairns by 103 points. If they're any chance of recording a victory in round 14, they must improve their ability to convert on the scoreboard, averaging just under 10 goals per match in 2015. They're coming up against the side in Cairns Saints, who average 18 goals per match this season. Although the Saints are coming off a 32-point loss at home against Port Douglas in round 13, they were in the match until three-quarter time, leading by 2 points at this stage. Percentage only has them just above South Cairns in second spot, so this match is a must-win game for Cairns Saints to keep their top two spot alive come finals. Matches in round 4 and round 9 against North Cairns have seen the Saints kick a combined total winning margin of 250 points across these two rounds. There is still a lot of interest surrounding Matthew Walsh, the Saints' key full forward, as to whether he'll kick the remaining 4 goals needed to kick the 1,000 goal milestone this weekend. We know in round 13 he left the field in the fourth quarter with a tight hamstring, and we believe to be a grade 1 tear. Will he come up against the North Cairns Tigers outfit this weekend? We'll have to wait and see come Saturday morning. The final match of round 14 will see a red-hot Port Douglas outfit taking on Cairns City Lions in Port Douglas. Port Douglas notched their 7th consecutive win last week against the Cairns Saints outfit, recording a 32-point victory. The Crocs now sit 3 games clear on the top of the premiership table. They're the best team in the competition at both ends of the ground. They average just over 19 goals in attack, and they concede just over 10 goals per match, so they're very difficult to match up on. Helping their cause in attack is their full forward Kai Chappell, who has kicked 6 goals on average in 2015, with having a total of 79 for the season. Last week against Cairns Saints, he kicked 9 goals for the match in an impressive performance. For the Lions, their round 13 loss by 14 points to Central's Trinity Beach has all but ended their chances of playing finals in 2015. The Lions currently sit 3 games behind Centrals, with a difference in their percentage of 42, which is going to make finals very unrealistic for this club. Despite finals looking out of reach, over the past fortnight they've shown definite signs of improvement. They've doubled their scoring ability by their forward entries. They've reduced their opposition when they go inside 50, and their midfield has definitely added a lot more elite disposal going inside their attacking half. Round 4 saw Port Douglas win a tight affair by 5 goals at Holloway's Beach Sporting Complex, but round 10 saw them convincingly defeat the Lions by 103 points. With Lions out of contention now of finals, will their nothing to lose approach cause an upset in Port against Port this weekend? A reminder of the start times for this week. At Watson's Oval, reserve grade will start at 12 p.m, with senior starting at 2 p.m. This is 60 minutes earlier than the usual scheduling. At Crathern Park and Port Douglas, the times will be 1 p.m. for reserves and 3 p.m. for seniors. For more information regarding AFL Cairns or the round 14 fixtures, please visit www.aflcairns.com.au. We look forward to seeing you at the footy this weekend. Tune in for another episode of AFL Cairns TV next week. AFL Cairns, it's a great game.